Hey everyone, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and an interesting story just hit a few minutes ago, so I wanted to jump on and share it with you guys and tell you guys what my elven eyes see, and that's that the Illuminati has some of the details on what's her name, Ivanna Sakhno's character from Ahsoka. They say, it's all loading up. Star Wars has a ton of exciting content coming to Disney Plus with new stories for numerous fan favorite characters. One such series is the upcoming Ahsoka. The new series will focus on the titular character, Ahsoka Tano, who was first introduced in the animated series Clone Wars, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, could become a long way when you think about it. Like when she was first announced, she was hated, and now everyone loves her. She then made her live action debut, played by Rosario Dawson, in the second season of The Mandalorian. Not much is known about the plot of the new series, although there's been a lot of speculation surrounding Ahsoka's questioning about Grand Admiral Thrawn during her appearance in The Mandalorian second season. So that's clearly super important and sets up where they're going with it. Many are speculating that the new series will include the former Jedi searching for Star Wars Rebels Padawan Ezra Bridger. So that makes sense, you know. But yeah, we'll have to see. With Grand Admiral Thrawn's blah 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 blah. Okay. I want to get to the meat of it more or less here soon. With plot details being kept under wraps, you know, you always have the obligatory, boy, everything sure is guarded. I'm not blaming Illuminati. It's just the way it's done. Got to hit that word count. For Google, I hate it. I really do hate it. It's like we have to read so much stuff. Not the Illuminati's fault. Once again, just to be clear, you just have to read through so much garbage because you have to fill up that stuff so that way people get down and also see the third ad or something like that. But we also broke the news that Ahsoka is looking to cast Barris Offee, a former Jedi Padawan, who's probably a bad guy, I would assume, in this one. Ahsoka is bringing a number of Star Wars animated characters to live action, blah, 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 blah. Ahsoka and Anakin last saw each other after Anakin had fallen to the dark side. Yeah, they're been a while. Dave Filoni serves as writer. Okay, cool. Did I just skip the part that I wanted to read? Ahsoka, so much stuff. Okay, okay, so we here it is. Sorry, I skipped over it. The image made me skip it. We here at the Illuminati have been doing some digging and have managed to find new details that shed light on Sakhno's character. According to our sources, Ivanna Sakhno will be playing a character named Astrid, who is described as striking and ferocious, a formidable mercenary who must now decide between two paths. Astrid can either follow the path of her unit or take hold of her own aspirations in service of her own glory. So she could serve her own unit or take hold of her own aspirations in service of her own glory. Neither of those sound very like Jedi paths, if you will. Yeah, so is it a code name is my question I have right now. You know what I mean? And it because I feel like I could be wrong, but having followed the Illuminati Vampire Chronicle stuff and everything like that, it seemed like they were getting the casting grids and pulling the info off of there. They may have gone back and dug into the past to try to figure out what they were, what it could be, and they might have found who the role went to or something like that, and figured out that that's Astrid. Yeah, great minds, Bespin. They don't specify, but the name is likely a code name. Also, the beard is rad. Thanks. Yeah, I have to say I would not be surprised if it's a code name. Also, though, it's a good name. I will say if this one's not a code name, it's a good name. We don't know the size of the role, what the parameters of it are. You know, is it like truly a huge role, or does she have a role in one episode? That's where it's a little bit confusing because I can't tell if they're casting cast members or if they're casting people for an episode, you know, like imagine, remember that one dumb kid who was in the Cantina episode from Mando? Like, imagine if we had that right now. We'd be like, oh, what is he? What's his name? And like, would they code that guy? You know what I mean? Would they give him a code name? Or is she just in one episode and she's like, I'm a mercenary. Okay. And by the end of it, she's like, I'll be good now. You know, it could be something that lame, or this could be like a major, you know, character who is in several episodes. We don't know yet. So there's a lot of ways that we can take this information, but right now, at least Astrid's a name to call her, because honestly, her name is a mouthful. It's hard for me. It's hard for my dumb mush mouth. But they go on to say, with plot details being kept under wraps, how exactly this mercenary character will play into the story is still a mystery. It is intriguing that she seems to be at a crossroads and will need to make a life-altering decision. Could she be on the hunt for Thrawn as well, or perhaps a titular character, there's that word again, character herself, given the Imperial holdouts that Din Djarin, it should be Din Djarin has continued to deal with, or Din Djarin should have a D, but whatever. I'm a nerd. Has continued to deal with during the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. And then we also broke the news that Ahsoka is looking to cast Barris Offee, former Jedi Padawan, and close confidant of Ahsoka's until she turned against the Jedi Order and framed Ahsoka for a terrorist attack she herself committed. Really led to Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Temple. How Barris will play into the series is still a mystery, but hopefully fans will finally learn what happened to the former Jedi Padawan after her arrest during the Clone Wars. A long time ago, I thought it was for a video game, but I did see concept art of Barris Offee as an Inquisitor, and this is a long time ago now. This is probably 2019, and I thought she was going to be in that video game in Fallen Order. And then I started to think maybe they changed it, you know, maybe they took her out of Fallen Order and that's what happened. I think I actually got drunk on New Year's and accidentally said that live or on Twitter or something like that. It was stupid. But yeah, so we have things really starting to get going now. And you know, there's when we look at this show, I think it's important to consider who the main cast may be. You know what I mean? Like, I was going to send you an invite, dude, but I was like, I think he might have had enough of this today. But there you are. Anyways, I was going to say is that, you know, if we end up with all of the characters from Star Wars Rebels coming in, if everything that we have ever heard about this show is true, we end up with a lot of characters and not a lot to really, you know, not a lot of time to really consider Ahsoka. You know what I mean? You want the invite, dude? I'll send you the invite, man. Here it comes. I'm sending it your way. You're not missing it. I thought maybe you would miss it, but I forget that you're kind of like the biggest Ahsoka Tano fan I've ever met. People don't know, but Rob has a full sleeve tattoos, in fact. And that's why we were late doing our show yesterday. He was getting a full sleeve tattoo of Ahsoka Tano. And he has it. And I think maybe he'll show you right now. Maybe he'll come on the stream and show you his Ahsoka Tano tattoos. You know, he calls it his Tano tats. He's always like, "Hey guys, I want to talk right now, but I'm getting my Tano tats. You know, I'm kind of busy right now getting my Tano tats." Or, "Hey dude, what are you thinking about? You seem distant." "Oh, thinking about my Tano tats." So, you know what I mean. But yeah, I kind of think that we are going to have a big cast here if it goes that way. And there he is, Mr. Tano Tats himself. How's it going, dude?
Man, I was just getting my third tat. I saw you went on. I was like, "Time out, tat guy." You know,
Yeah.
You know, I got to do it for work. I got to do. See, I even have my glasses tat.
Yeah.
My George Lucas.
I was like, I thought I had a little bit of time to myself, and I was like, hey, you know what? A little time to myself. I want to play some.
I'm sorry.
Fortnite. I'm gonna.
Oh, I thought you meant on the podcast.
So no, not on the podcast. I mean, over here on the Nintendo machine.
Now we're all in pink. You like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're, you know, what you don't think that's manly? No, yeah. What do you think? You think obviously nobody knows, but if you had to bet, you're betting that if this is a code name, or you think this is going to be a real name? I mean, it's a pretty good name. It's a pretty good code name, I gotta say, if it's not a real name. Astrid works for a Star Wars name, I think.
Astrid?
Yeah, Astrid. Sounds like Astro.
Code name.
You say it's a code name?
Code name.
Yeah.
If it was Astrid, it'd be one. Because like every first and last name in Star Wars is a whole name now, right?
Well,
Han Solo, not Han Solo. It's Han Solo. So
maybe Dave Filoni's trying to make him better. You know what I mean? Her name is probably like Astrid Botox or something. You know what I mean?
It's so World War II though. It might work. I mean, Esther. You know, Astrid.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually known a girl. I've known a person named Astrid before. You know what I mean? It's a real name. So it's kind of something I sort of miss in a way. I have a feeling that they might shy away from certain names because you can't copyright them. Like you can't copyright Rob, but you know, Luke is a real name. That's not a crazy name. Like on one hand, like Dune, main character's name is
the most Earth name there is in Star Wars at this point, Luke. Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't think we've got a Ted or a Fred or
no.
Right? We haven't.
Yeah, I mean, what about just like, you know, hey, what's up? My name is I'm Ted Skykicker. You know what I mean? Like, where's Ted Skykicker? Where's he been? You know what I mean?
Dude, totally sky kicking out there in the cosmos.
Oh, dude, I hated on Star Wars Santa show, we were talking about like George Lucas's ideas for his original episode 7, and one of the characters who's pretty much like the Poe Dameron type, his name was Skylar. Oh God, your name is Skylar. I apologize, but your parents suck.
Hasn't that actress endured enough abuse? All you Breaking Bad haters, right?
Oh right, yeah.
They actually attacked her, bro. Like as bad as Kelly Marie Tran and Daisy really got the hate, the actress from Breaking Bad who played Skylar, I mean, people really were like, "You have ruined his life." Why will you not stop ruining? I mean, not the show. They think it's real.
Yeah. People think wrestling's real. Well, what are you gonna do? You know, at that point,
hey.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I was there at the San Diego Sports Arena. I saw Big Boss Man come out and challenge Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase ran. I saw that. It's not fake. It happened.
I went to a friend's birthday dinner, and I saw a friend I hadn't seen since I was a kid, and his father was there, and two people actually, and his father was there, and her father was there, and we talked about when Rick Rude got pantsed at the LA Coliseum when we saw it. And
you're so good, right?
And her dad's all, yeah, you know, I went the next day without you guys down in San Bernardino. I went and saw it again. And we didn't take you guys to that one, but it was the same exact thing. And he got pantsed again. And I was like, man, I thought I was at the one where he got pantsed. He got pantsed at all of them.
Because he's ravishing.
Yeah, he was ravishing, wasn't he? He was rude. He was
great.
Yeah. He was a rude dude.
It's great.
But
yeah, look, if her name's Astrid, then hey, there's a character you all didn't guess that wasn't in your Mike Zero's predictions.
you want to know what I was actually doing when after we
and
got
Zero Randolph. Now that Zero Randolph does sound like a Star Wars character. What is it? The cookbook for life. Okay, my friend, we need to do that for the Patreon. Yeah. We need to get you in the kitchen making the Life Day cookbooks, and I can be over here stirring whip and stir. Yeah. I can talk to you like certain people in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kublai Curry. some of this stuff. I think this might be a lot of the Galaxy's Edge stuff.
Can we make Yasm logs?
The what?
Can we make Yasm logs?
Yasm logs? Yeah. Cake. It looks like Chewbacca took a shit in a glass, but
Groger. Right?
It's pretty fun though. It is pretty fun. I gotta say,
they need to be made. But look, to be authentic, it needs to all be from ingredients that were only available in the 70s. Tang, right.
Tang. Wookie Ookie salt dough ornaments. Okay, but anyways.
People are like, we showed up for Ahsoka. Why are you reading off the Life Day book? What is this? False advertising.
Yeah. But I think we're going to be seeing this a lot more about this show coming up here pretty soon, because it's the general casting has to be like really picking up in general. And I had heard Barris Offee had a bunch of names dropped for her, and by somebody, and I asked somebody, and they're like, all of those are just, I don't know where they got that. And I was like, cool, okay. But I have to imagine by now Barris Offee is most likely been cast, I would think, because they started casting really early, and not that she's not I don't think it would be that hard to fill that role. You know what I mean? I mean, her look, the look of Barris Offee, she's attractive but pretty normal. You know what I mean? It's not like some interesting features or something like that. It's pretty much like any brunette can do the role when you get down to it. It does the accent.
No, not any. No. They'll get ScarJo to do it, and then I'll piss everyone off.
That would be weird. That would be like overcasting. They're like,
she was rumored for a Star Wars role. I think it's Barris Offee.
Yeah. Yeah. If like that happened, not Barris Offee, that would just be like way overdoing it, obviously. But if she was to show up in Star Wars, I wouldn't really be that excited about it. I wouldn't be like, oh, please, I wouldn't be mad about it. But I'm not really super crazy about casting when it's like somebody with so much exposure as like a Scarlett Johansson. It's too enough.
Can we get Margaret Cho?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, get her in Star Wars. That'd be cool.
She'd be amazing.
Give her a fucking cantina.
You know who would really rock the role is Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly, yeah. Jennifer Tilly's amazing. Did you watch the new Chucky yet?
I have not.
Dude, it's good.
I hear it's good. I hear that's what I hear.
It's good. I mean, it's like like don't expect too much, but it's really good.
I'm not, guys. Look, I like Hawkeye. You know what I'm saying? I like fun entertainment. It was worth my time. I'm not expecting a religious experience every time I turn on the fucking television. Or the movie.
Yeah, I didn't watch Hawkeye yet. I haven't started it yet.
It's fun. They're all different. All those series they're all different. Yeah. I mean, people go, oh no, they're all different. You want the same? Watch the CW. It's the same show on a loop.
Meg, I just want for Meg. I want to just say that this report had 2 juicy titular character name drops.
They don't call Ahsoka Nips for nothing.
No, they don't call her. They call her Snips.
Oh, sorry. My bad, dog.
Yeah.
Let's do a series where I just confidently talk about the wrong thing at the very end. You correct me and I go, oh, my bad, dog, and we end it. It's just called My Bad Dog.
Yeah, sweater weather. Come here.
That guy knows nothing.
I mean, it's weird. He's more about the tattoos.
Look, when she's around, it snips, but it's a little misogynistic in that Jedi temple when she's out the room. Sure. Even Yaddle throws in the mix.
It's why she left, man.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I am kind of curious about how they're gonna deal with Barris, because we're gonna have I'm guessing that since she lives, and this is after Return of the Jedi, provided it's not. There's always a chance this show could tell you the history of Ahsoka leading up to it really quickly in a fast way. Like we may get Clone Wars scenes and flashbacks and the Barris story. That could be all that it is. I'm not saying that's what I think it's going to be. I'm saying that, but we should mentally prepare for that idea that it could be that simple.
I was under the impression she was one of those Inquisitors or sisters or something. Like,
right? Yeah,
am I wrong on that? I don't know about.
But this is after Return of the Jedi now, and in theory, the Inquisitorius program has been dismantled.
Inquisitorius is very Harry Potter, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Inquisitorius! Right? Like,
Inquisitorius! Now you're no longer a Jedi, you're a Jedi.
Oh, you're turf! Oh!
Yeah. But since this takes place after Return of the Jedi, she could be. I you know how there's like Jews for Jesus? Are there Inquisitors for Moff Gideon? Is that a thing?
Inquisis?
Are there Inquisitors for Gideon?
Inquisis. Yeah, Gideon. Okay.
Yeah. Hello,
They're called Giddies.
I'm an Inquisitor for Gideon. Would you like to hear the word of Palpatine? Can I have a moment? Like,
they're Inquisi for Giddy.
Oh, hello, Nips. No, it was Snips, actually.
They put their Inquisitor sticker next to their Coexist bumper sticker on their TIE Interceptor.
Oh, yeah, I knew you. I framed you. You were Nips.
Yeah. They tried to put a bumper sticker that said "All planets matter" on Alderaan, and then...
Oh no, but anyways, so how does Barris work? Because I mean, honestly, I know this was about what's her name's character, but okay, so she sounds like a Finn. It sounds like the character who we were describing is sort of a Finn-like character. You know, she can stick with her squad or go on her own. But
casting wise, she would be Carrie Ann Moss's age right about now, right?
Who's that?
So, Trinity from the Matrix, right?
Oh, okay.
She would be she would be.
Oh, older? I think she's young, dude.
By the Ahsoka series?
Wait. I'm sorry. I was talking about Ivanna Sakhno's character.
Oh, I was talking about Barris Offee.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Barris. I wanted to try to put it on track a little bit.
All right.
But yeah, I was just like Ivanna Sakhno. She was born in 97. Her character, it sounds like a Finn to me. Like
Astrid.
Yeah, Astrid sounds like a Finn in a way. But is it Finn in reverse? It could be like she's with the New Republic and decides I'm gonna bounce over to the bad guys, or she could be a soldier for Thrawn who decides, you know what, I should go with Ahsoka. I shouldn't be with. I should bounce with Ahsoka Tano. So it could go that way, but Barris Offee, I think a fair assumption is that she becomes, an Inquisitor, and if she becomes an Inquisitor, then the Empire falls. Now what is she? You know what I mean? Is she just Jira slinging air conditioners on the Tatooine streets? Like, but also, what do they have to talk about now? Because in a way, like when they meet up, is Ahsoka is after Thrawn, and it plays like revenge in Mando, but I'm not so sure that because it played like revenge, it was. And so if Ahsoka is on the revenge path and not a Jedi and truly doing her own thing, she may beat the shit out of Barris Offee. I'm just saying, she may grab her by the hair, Jerry Springer style, give her some.
It's gonna be like Miss Elizabeth for Scary Sherry, and
I'm gonna be the first person to predict that Ahsoka Tano pantses Barris Offee, just pulls her pants down.
Rick Rudes her,
and everybody laughs at her. But with that in mind, what do they have, like, if when they encounter each other, what is that like? I mean, that's kind of been the question of the day. We're back on the first episode of the day. We're talking about what does Mace Windu and Boba, what do they say when they meet? What does Han Solo and Boba say when they meet again? But what does Barris, hey, sorry, during the old Sith reign, sorry about that framing of you that had you quit college. You know what I mean? And like, do they just go, hey, you know what? It was a different time, homie. It was the 70s. I don't know. I mean, like it was the space 60s. It was different. Or do they go right to war? Is she in the service of Gideon and Thrawn? is the other question, or is she just also out there just running around using her Jedi power to get?
My concern, and this is a minor concern, but if I had to bring one up, would be that this turns into a, much like how I thought the Clone Wars was going to be purely about Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then Ahsoka gets thrown in there at the beginning. Yeah. That this Ahsoka series becomes about two people fighting over a student. You know, like a new character.
Yeah,
like that would be the fear in this. That
I mean, it could definitely be sort of a subplot to it in a way. I mean, it's possible. I mean, and we definitely know there's no way they set Ahsoka Tano up as chasing down Thrawn, and that's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like Johannes is asking, so is Ezra in the show? And yeah, he is. Regardless of what anybody else has said, or, you know what I mean? And I'm not the first person to report Ezra. I'm not trying to say that, but I have seen stuff from the show, and I've seen the Ghost and Hera and Ezra.
All right,
and
James.
Chopper.
All right.
No, I'm saying and Chopper and
okay.
and
cool.
No. So
Chopper's the one. Look, I'm not a big.
I can confirm. I'm saying that I could personally say I know for a fact that they're going to be in the show, and that's why I'm like, geez, if these are main characters, like how much room on this show is there, and how many episodes are there supposed to be? If there's like 16 episodes of the show or something like that, then there you go. We could have a huge cast, and there's all the room. Well, if it's like Mando, if it's an 8 episodes Mando kind of thing, then it's getting pretty tight.
Well, you know how the Mando was like a fill-in for Boba Fett, right? Let's basically do a Boba Fett show without Boba Fett. Let's create a new Mando. Like Chopper's like that fill-in for R2. You know,
hold on. I want to say something before you. Sorry. Pete, sure. 2 things about Favreau I keep meaning to bring up, and I haven't had the opportunity. Was back in the day before Abrams got hired, they did talk to Favreau. Favreau was on the table to
him and Brad Bird. I know for certain.
Yeah, recently I spoke to somebody who's in that sphere and was like, I was this close to being on episode 7 at one point, and because of Filoni. I mean, I'm sorry, Favreau, and but the oh shit, I had another point that I wanted. I had another point to make, and I lost.
You got to write it down, my friend.
I can't write. I never learned how to read. Never learned how to write. But
do you think though?
Go
ahead. No, finish.
No, I lost it. Go ahead.
If Favreau had come into episode 7, do you think he would have done all 3? You know, you think Favreau, because I'm curious to know if he would have just been one and out.
I don't think there was a conceivable reality where somebody can do 3 Star Wars movies back to back to back in that short of time, in the time frame.
Tyler Perry could.
That was a lot of it. I mean, Back to the Future Part 3 suffered because Robert Zemeckis was burned out after doing 2 and trying to add 3 on to just doing a back to back schedule. So I don't think
also,
they were ever.
From all intents and purposes, Zemeckis didn't want to make 2. It was 3 he wanted to make. So it was like, 2 was like the one they were obligated to make, and that's why initially they were in the future for like 2 seconds and then they went back to the 60s. But then when they lost Crispin Glover, it turns into a whole nightmare,
Yeah. Ant-Man said, do you think we'll see Jason Syndulla in Ahsoka? In the stuff that I've seen so far, I have not seen a little green kid yet. So I'm not saying you won't. But yeah, I know the Ghost and Chopper are a thing, and
that's what I wanted to say. Is I initially, when I first saw Chopper appear in the Rebel stuff, I was like, oh, they're gonna fucking do a R2 wannabe character, Yeah. But that's a character that grew on me, like having the episodes that I watched for work. Yeah, I'm like, this is actually pretty good, and Chopper's not a typical Star Wars name. That's what I like about the name too. It wasn't like, B4 or, Chips. It's CHP1.
It just came back to
CHPR,
Yeah, it just came back to me is that I heard about when the Mando pitch happened. The Mando pitch went down around the time that Boba Fett, the film, was getting shelved. And
coincidentally?
Well, it was at first like we don't know because we have this Boba Fett movie coming. The Boba Fett movie wasn't shaping up. Things just weren't moving forward, and the whole thing was, oh, none of this matters. Everything on this doesn't tie into any of the stuff you're doing. This is its own new thing. And they were like, and that was a big reason why we ended up getting the Mandalorian before we got Boba Fett. And there was a time when like Boba Fett's years away right now, and they just didn't think they were going to be able to get to it. And then,
do you think if filmmakers pitched Lucasfilm more completely original stuff rather than adaptations, they would be more open to that?
People usually pitch original stuff as far as okay. I mean, I'm not saying across the board, but from what I understand, they only pitch original stuff usually. And but Boba and Solo were developed during the Lucas era and were part of the treatments that were sold over to Disney during the buyout. So Boba was always on the table to be something to be capitalized on. And so they were trying to fill that in. It wasn't. I'm not saying somebody didn't show up and say I have an idea for Boba Fett. I'm sure that's happened, but for the most part, the original stuff is like more concept based. Like I've heard of things that have been pushed out there before, and it's usually concept based. Like it's I'm pretty sure true. I'm fairly certain it's true. Who's the guy who did Mr. Robot? What's his name again?
The actor who played Freddie Mercury?
No, the actual show creator.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he came close to doing Kenobi more than once.
I remember his name being tossed in the Star Wars rumor mill back a couple years ago.
I had a lot of people bring that by me, and I had somebody come to me later on and go, "Hey, they've been doing meetings," and then but nothing came of it.
Like if you don't know, fine. But if you somehow you're like, hey, we got to Lucasfilm, they're accepting some pitches, right? If you say you're a filmmaker, right, and you can get a meeting about Star Wars, if you showed up with the pitch and you had your concept art guy, like let's say you know what I mean, you paid a dude to make boards and you came in there, you think they think that's too much? Like, do you have to be very like lackadaisical? But if you came in there with like here's my fucking grand plan, like I wonder.
Yeah, that's I'm sure that's a question that creatives are asking themselves pretty continually. I would have to imagine that doing that to some extent would be like stepping on their toes. So I think that they want to hear an idea and then they want to develop that idea with you. And
right.
But like what's his name did his pitch, didn't get it done, and what's it called, Rebel Moon, yes,
Zack Snyder
is doing his own movie now. Took his ball.
Oh, sorry, Gareth Edwards. Well, Gareth Edwards is doing one, and Zack Snyder is doing one. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, but
Rebel Moon.
Gareth Edwards is also doing
Star Wars.
Yeah, it's his own like Star Warsy movie.
Yeah,
right.
Good. Yeah, good for him. But yeah. So we have one instance of a big filmmaker bringing a concept to them, it not being something that they wanted to develop, and then taking it home. They don't own it.
Although I sent you a link today to StarWars.com, I actually did an interview with Gareth Edwards.
I actually have
looking back on Rogue One.
I actually I brought it up actually right now so we could, if you want to hit on it right now, we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they're talking to him, right? Like about Rogue One. This is the first time he's talked about it on record.
I want to be clear that I wasn't, and we weren't inferring there was bad blood.
No. But a lot of people wondered how come what's his is there?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and there were times Bespin Bolton I think had the photos of it, and where it looked like he might have been on the set of Cassian, but we could never really get it hammered down whether it was him or not. I asked around, and it was just too confusing. I didn't get it anywhere. Yeah, this is by Dan Brooks? Yeah, it's by Dan Brooks. He's one of whenever you see an article on StarWars.com and it's by Dan Brooks, it's gonna be good. He's one of the people who does content for them, or is the like the main editor or whatever. But his stuff's always good.
Okay.
It's not typical that a major studio releases a tentpole film in which all the heroes die at the end. But then Rogue One wasn't a typical Star Wars movie. Released December 16th, 2016, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, told the tale of how the rebels stole the plans to the Death Star, leading directly to the classic A New Hope, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so what do they talk about? They talk about anything interesting in this one? I mean, I don't want to act out the whole thing, but...
there's stuff right here. Like, I remember when I first met Lucasfilm's Kerry Hart at the very beginning of it all, just snuck in for a very secretive meeting. Think they were meeting with loads and loads of filmmakers like it was with The Force Awakens. I don't think anyone had announced the title or anything. We knew there was a Star Wars film happening and probably more to come. At the same time, I was finishing Godzilla, and they were at Disney, and you could walk from Warner Bros. To Disney in about 10 minutes. I was nervous about telling anyone I was going for a meeting at Lucasfilm because if things went well, I'd be doing the Godzilla sequel. And so I pretended if I had to get some food or something. I just went down there with Kit Hart down the road. And then he goes, I had this giant meeting, but part of me was sitting there thinking, when they started talking about some of the things they want to do, I just remember thinking, A, they'll never offer this to me. And B, I don't think I want to do it because you got to be so careful with this stuff. It's so important to so many people, including myself. She said, I guess it's Kathleen, or Kit Hart, right? She said, I got 2 ideas I'd like to send you that I think you'd be interested in. And she sent me one. I remember getting this email and thinking, I've got to sit down and really concentrate and save this moment. This is the only time I'll be sent an idea for a Star Wars movie from Lucasfilm.
It's probably Boba Fett.
Oh, the other one?
Yeah, because remember at Celebration, they had, they're supposed to be Boba Fett and Rogue One. We were supposed to see like both of them together. Like, here's the next generation of Star Wars films coming out, guys. Mm-hmm. And then the Trank shit went down. And so I'm guessing Trank got Boba and he got Rogue.
All right. So then he goes, so I cleared everything. I didn't do anything that Saturday, and I kept everything away. I sat down, opened just a page or even a few paragraphs of description, and there was this one idea which was very, very cool and very good, but it wasn't for me. I'm just like, I'm not the guy to do that. And then there was this another idea. Sorry, folks. That it's just funny. We're like, this seems so that I'll never get. But then there was this other thing, and obviously it turned out to be John Knoll's concept for a Star Wars film. I started reading it, and I was like, okay, where's this going? What is this? Hang on. And then the last paragraph, it all tied in with A New Hope. I had this love-hate relationship instantly where it was like, they can't do this film. They shouldn't do this film. This is like hallowed ground. You can't. You're not allowed to. And the other part of me was like, wait a minute. Am I being considered for this? I have to do this. There's no way I could walk away from this. But hang on. No one should do this. But I have to do like that. Come on. That alone is probably the most honest fucking thing they've put in a Star Wars bit on the official site, right? Yeah. Like, I was really torn. I wrote back to Kiri saying, I think this would be an amazing idea for a Star Wars film, but are you seriously going to do this? Or is it just like spaghetti at the wall kind of stuff? And she was like, no. This is what we want to do, potentially next. Then I figured they're talking to maybe 20 filmmakers, and I'm one of them. So probably they won't even make the cut. I went in for a few meetings, met with Kathy, and it was all going very well. And then at one point I thought, I'm just going to ask a question just for my own peace of mind. I said, how many other filmmakers and directors are you talking to about this? And they're like, oh, none. Oh, God, are you crazy? And so he's thinking, oh, God, are you crazy? And for whatever reason, I got to do it. Good job, Knoll. Come on.
I had the photos of all of this set and wrote a big report about it. And it was, I remember just really trying to describe how this X-Wing was a black X-Wing back then. It was pretty
There's a service that Cornette's always pimping, like a Manscaped, but it's for painting. You take a photo and they make a painting out of it. Yeah. I would love to get this painted and then send it to Knoll. With a really ornate 70s frame, you know?
Yeah. Real wood stained and frilly.
Yeah. You get it. John Knoll was a hero of mine growing up, getting into visual effects. I always wanted to direct films, but I came through at some point in the industry. If you're not given a directing gig straight from film school, you have to pick up a career. And I picked up visual effects. I sat and watched the making of The Phantom Menace to death. I savored everything there was about Industrial Light and Magic, and obviously a lot of that material gravitated to John Knoll. So I felt like he was a massive hero of mine. Then I had to Zoom with him. This is so weird that we know what that means now. Yeah. If you just go back a few years, you know? So then I had to Zoom with him to kind of get the gig, because if he didn't like me, they'd obviously go with someone else. So I knew there was a lot of pressure on this meeting, and I can't remember any of it. I can't remember how it went. I remember being nervous. I had briefly met him in passing at Warner Bros. He was there for a screening of Pacific Rim, and we got invited to it because we were doing Godzilla. At the end, everyone's going up to Guillermo del Toro and trying to speak to him. All I wanted to do was speak to John Knoll. I went up to him and I introduced myself. I sounded like such a geeky fanboy, and I was a bit embarrassed about it. He drove off in a golf cart. What? This is everything to me, bro. Like, you gotta understand how happy this makes me. Yeah. Only in Hollywood. I was like, that was it. That was my meeting with John Knoll. I could die happy now. Yeah. God bless him. And then I didn't realize this was all going to kick off. Yeah. Oh man, that's so great. It never got old with John. You meet a lot of really super smart people in this industry, but John is truly like a genius. His resume proves that, but he has such a fascinating mind. To be a guy with his brother came up with Photoshop, and B, did all the groundbreaking work, all the digital breakthrough films that changed cinema, and then the party. It's pretty incredible. So that's how it went.
It just booted us all, but you're back.
Jason. Oh, I'm back.
Yeah. Melon does what it wants. But yeah, go on.
Do you want to talk about the? You want to jump to the Tarkin stuff?
Yeah. Whatever's interesting. I haven't got to read the whole thing yet, so
yeah, it's dude. This is in depth. Like, it's pretty long.
It's really okay.
Bit
Good.
Here. Yeah. It's a meaty bit. We could save some for later if it's too much, but
yeah. How about we do that? How about we save it for tomorrow in case there's like nothing going on?
Yeah, but this I thought the John Knoll and the X-wing. You know.
Yeah, go ahead and hit on the Tarkin part, and then we'll do. If I'll read it. And
I think it's stuck because I'm scrolling and it's not scrolling.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Oh, you're scrolling. Oh, you're.
I've been scrolling down.
I don't know who's scrolling. I think I'm an idiot. You're scrolling. My bad.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about the Tarkin real quick. StarWars.com asks, the first time we talked, you were in pre-production. I don't think this made the final cut of our interview, but you had talked about wanting to push forward and take chances with Rogue One, because if you didn't, then you weren't creating in the spirit of George Lucas. After I saw it, I felt with the digitally created performances of Tarkin and Leia, you were definitely pushing forward. Tell me about the decision to do that, and if you were worried about it at all. So Gareth answers, yeah, I think at some point we put a little chart up on the wall, which is what were the characters we could have in this movie that exists in this timeline. Initially in your brain, you think, oh, this is going to be every Star Wars character you can think of. I could think of some obscure ones, my friend. But then you go through it. A lot of them are out of bounds because either Lucasfilm were developing another film or show, or something else was going on with those characters, and they didn't really want them in our film so much. What's his who's the fucking dude with the Luke hair? The general. I'm brain farting from Jedi.
Nadine.
Nadine, right?
Yeah, General.
Tarkin we don't really want Nadine in this movie. Tarkin was an obvious choice, but there's no way you can tell the story and not have him in at least the periphery of the scenes that were going on, if not front and center. So he was always going to be mentioned, possibly seen, glimpsed, a little moment where you have him revealed somewhere slightly, or at least understand that that's probably him at the end of the corridor. But as we developed the script more and more, it became like he needs to be a proper character in this film for it to work. So we would obviously talk to John and the team and say, is this possible? Is this crazy? Should we steer away from it? And John would always light up and be like, nope, this is exactly what ILM is about. This is why we exist. Go for it. So I felt very encouraged. They were sort of excited about the idea of bringing Tarkin in the movie. We always knew there was probably going to be a Leia shot in there, some form or another, right at the end of the film at least. So they had the technical hurdle to figure out. When you make these films, you have to do what's called turnover to ILM, where you basically give them shots to work on. The first one we ever did was Princess Leia. We turned it over during filming. It was the very first thing we gave them, and it was the very last shot they delivered at the very end of the whole process. So they, in theory, worked on that shot for nearly a year and a half or something. I don't know if it was really that, but that's technically what it felt like. And Tarkin, they had been doing things like that in other movies. They had been getting more and more confident with digital humans. it just felt like we have to do this. It's kind of like you're making a film with ILM. You want to do at least one thing. It's never done before, and it feels a bit scary, a bit risky. Okay, yeah. Where is it? Here we go. There was a lot of clues subconsciously to the viewer that let you feel this is the original New Hope, which included things like lighting, director of photography Greg Fraser, who's a master at lighting, and we can all agree. Go watch the new Batman trailer or Dune, and you're going to see Greg Fraser at work, right? Like, yeah. And the 2 episodes, or that episode with the flamethrower scene in Mando, so good.
I always say he's the light of my life. I've always said that.
And Rogue One is the best looking Star Wars film outside of Empire, so there you go. He would have preferred to have done a different kind of lighting on Tarkin for a lot of the shots, but we noticed that if we did a more modern take on that, it didn't feel like him. We had to sort of dial it back to the way they lit scenes in A New Hope in the late 70s, and it would start to feel more real. Same with Vader. Even with shots of Vader, we did a little test shoot. Greg would always say that lighting Vader is like doing a car commercial. He's got more in common with photographing a car than a human because of all the light reflections and things. Mimics the helmet, right?
Yeah.
We kept looking at these tests going, this doesn't feel like Vader, does it? What are we doing wrong? It just doesn't feel the same. And we started realizing that normally when you do a shot, you do an over-the-shoulder shot and you film someone. And then you do the reverse when you come around for a conversation. Red Letter Media shot, reverse shot. Shot, reverse shot. Shot, reverse shot. You come around, mimics camera rotating. In the original trilogy, when they would come around to do the reverse, the person in the foreground would always feel bigger than Vader, which felt wrong. So they always pull the camera back a little bit and then raise it up so that Vader, his eye line was always the highest thing in the frame. If you didn't do that, Vader felt small and not powerful. And so it was all these little tricks that we hadn't thought of until we started filming at certain things. That right there is something I don't think has ever been brought up in terms of shooting, photographing, whatever, Darth Vader, right? Like how they have to put him in the frame to compose it so he's always dominant.
Yeah.
You know? Because if Tarkin's right here and I'm back here, I'm little guy, but Vader needs to be, so they have to pull the camera back and tilt up so they're lower and he's taller every time.
In the way that Vader is shot a lot of times too, like in A New Hope, he almost reminds me of the Night at the Roxbury guys when they like grind on girls. Like he's always like all like up on people, like because
that is a totally unique take. That's accurate.
Yeah, he's like he's always like he's about to like start grinding on him at any second now. But yeah, it's because I think Lucas was trying to figure out how to do that,
Right. This with even without the mocap, this dude would have been able to pull off an accurate Tarkin, I think.
Does it ever talk about Gilroy coming in? I just did a Control F on Gilroy. It is not brought up.
No, it's totally he's definitely sour about it.
No, I mean he's clearly cool enough that he would come back and do an interview with StarWars.com about it. So that says good things about his relationship with them. It's just one of those things where it would be interesting to hear his perspective on that. I get it. I mean, maybe it's not good or maybe it's weird. I don't know. But
one imagines if CineFX had made it. Now that we're at the anniversary of this film, they would have. But I also think because Gilroy's still working with them, that probably not.
Well, I mean, I would imagine if he does have a new movie coming out, if he's making a new movie, when he starts to do the press on it, people will ask. That's if we're ever going to get it anytime soon. That's when we'll likely start to see it. So when his new movie comes out, I'm going to probably follow with work anyway.
Gareth Edwards, you mean?
Edwards, yes.
Gareth Edwards is doing the Netflix movie now. I don't think it's getting released theatrically unless they do a theatrical release, but they will do press probably.
I get a lot of Netflix offers.
Can you get on that list? You gotta get on that list. You gotta ask the question.
No, I'm on many Netflix lists, so we need to talk about what that movie is, and I need to make sure I haven't missed anything in my inbox.
Yeah. Okay. We will after the show, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So then tomorrow we'll pick this up, and if it's a slow day, we'll definitely dig back into this, and we'll be back tomorrow for our first show of the day. Now that we're doing 2 a day now, I don't know if you know this, but we're now doing 2 shows a day. This is how I tricked you into it. This is how I wrote
like COVID is spreading. Like it's just now 30% stronger and it's more infectious. Damn.
Yeah. I'm gonna play my little Patreon Shmiel Blizzle Black, and then I'm gonna end the show, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Hi, I'm a cartoon depiction of Jason Ward. You can support the show on patreon.com/MakingStarWars or on YouTube by becoming a channel member. It hurts to be a cartoon. It's very painful, in fact. But know that every time this channel gains a supporter, a little piece of my soul leaves this toon universe and returns to Jason, making us whole again. This show will always be free, but it's never been free to create. If you think it deserves it, become a channel member or a Patreon supporter. Thank you for the support. Please, help me die.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.